So I love basketball and I love the NBA. And the reason I love the basketball and NBA is because it's real life drama exposed all on a basketball court. I mean, you can just see, the athletes' faces and what is going on in their lives just as they're playing basketball. And so last playoffs, I got a chance to see how one shot can impact whether you've had a successful season or you've had a failure season. And this is the shot that Kawhi Leonard hit against the 76ers. 4 seconds left, Kawhi comes from the screen, turns around, looks up at the scoreboard, 4 seconds, he takes 4 dribbles, gets to the corner, shoots the shot, Joel Embiid misses the block, the whole stadium or basketball arena is quiet, and the ball hits each and every part of the cylinder, and it goes in. Kawhi is victorious, but Joel Embiid is in shock. He's stunned. As he walks to the locker room, he's trying to, put a very manly face. Yeah, we lost, but we gave it our effort. But the second he steps into the locker room, he starts to bawl. This 6'10" beast of a man is just bawling and crying. And at that moment, you can see when the agony of defeat and failure has actually hit you. And this is an experience that many entrepreneurs have to deal with. The agony of defeat and failure can be a tough pill to swallow. And the moment that it does hit you, it's almost as if it's an emotional rush, an ambush. You start to think about what could have I done? Should I even be here? Should I even give up? For many of these athletes, that's a no-brainer because they get millions to take a shot and possibly miss. But for entrepreneurs, there is no guarantee. All you have is the sweat equity that you've put into it. And there is no championship for effort as an entrepreneur. Last month, I got a chance to participate in the Start Garden 100 Demos idea. And unfortunately, for the second year in a row, my venture was not selected as a top 10 venture. And so immediately I said, well, there goes more content for this talk. While I am joking, in my mind, I was so disappointed and so embarrassed because after all, this was our second time, and we came prepared. Our technology worked. Our pitch was perfect, and our venture was to empower kids. I mean, who doesn't want to empower kids? But yet we still failed. As I'm waiting to hear our number called, which it obviously didn't, all I could think about was how bad I wanted to pick up the phone and call my kids and said, we did it. We finally did it. All of the hard work that we've put into this, it's finally paying full. But I couldn't. And so all I thought about was the vacations days that I missed because I was preparing the technology. All I could think about was the soccer ball games that I missed because I was perfecting my pitch deck. All I could think about was the garage that I never got done for my wife because I was preparing, to succeed. And so I quickly picked up my booth and I headed out the exit because I didn't want anybody to see me. Here you are, 2 years in a row. You've got great product, people are using it, but still you came up short. As I get inside the car, my partner who came with me asks me, Michael, what do you want to do? All I said to him was, I'm going to drive home, be a dad, and put the kids to bed. I felt numb. I felt like a failure. And I felt as if I failed my kids. Interestingly, living in Grand Rapids, you get an opportunity to witness what it means to live a legacy for your kids. you get an opportunity to witness the kind of positive impact that it can have for your kids. And so every day that I compete or every day that I work at something, that's always in the back of my mind. Because where I'm from and in the communities around the country, many of us don't get an opportunity to leave anything for our kids. In certain communities, all that's left for us are bills, failed dreams, and disconnected families. Failed dreams. What kind of legacy is that? It's a very, very, very tough thing. And I've been a part of the failed dream cycle. I grew up in New York City, and my dad and my mom immigrated from Haiti. And when he came to the U.S., he drove a taxi, a yellow cab, for 30 years, 12 to 16-hour days. He would miss many of our events because he was working. And so that taxi was an investment into our future. And because of the ride share and Uber and Lyft, all of his investments have plummeted. And so I get a chance to talk to him, and I can see it in his face. I can feel it. It's impacted my mom. It's impacted his health. It's just impacted everything to the point where I think about his failure when I'm starting my own business. It's a very tough thing. And so, failure to prepare is preparing to fail. But what do you do when you've prepared day in and day out and you still come up short? How many times are you going to tell your spouse or your partner that just keep believing in me, we'll do it next time? Because quite frankly, they may not be a next time. The competition is getting better. The innovators are getting younger. The minds are getting more fresh. Meanwhile, I'm getting older. I served 8 years as a U.S. Navy Seabee. And one of the things that as a Seabee, our motto is can do. And as a Seabee, you are trained to succeed in all that you do. I mean, that's what they instill in you from boot camp to A school and to many deployments. And so when you exit the Navy as a Seabee, you've been trained to succeed, but yet you get out into society where you failed. See, they've trained me to succeed, but they've not trained me for failure. They've not prepared me to understand how to fail. And thus the reason why you see many of our vets, depression, homelessness, suicide. If only they would take the time to train us to overcome those battles, but also prepare us for what it's like to fail. Thank you.